Shelly, are you using Feint anywhere?
Not yet.
Before you grab your doll, could you Feint the boss?
Probably.
That way I take just a little bit less damage from those autos.
Well, not saying I won't do it, but are his autos physical?
Pretty sure they are.
Well,
Oh yeah.
ACT will.
No, they are. Otherwise, my Heart of Stone wouldn't do anything.
Well, the hands are physical. Are his.
They're auto attacks. I'm sure they are.
8 seconds in water.
Everyone get on the back side of him. Turn him sideways if you can.
We're gonna stand on this side. You guys go over to the other side. No, not that side.
Everyone should be on his butt except for the tanks.
Here it is.
Oops, I did a thing and took damage.
Then again, this is like in range, right? Like right now?
Yeah.
Yep.
About 30%.
Oh, yeah, you did Alright, so...
So it was. Brute was at 18. Cruise Chaser was 8.
That's the opposite problem that we used to have.
Well, it depends on who dies, right? Also, my DPS is going unpredictably between the two of them.
Reminder. The tanks will be here for the double rocket punch. The party will be there. Stop standing on one.
Oh yeah, after we do the tank buster, we can just collapse like on the front side and the back side, just like in the middle. Like there. And tanks will be there. Then cure 3, yay!
Oh, and Oli, if you get the lightning, please try to stand between 2 and B, not on the south side. It's kind of awkward.
Oh, I love my abilities misfiring.
Is that new thing with sarcasm I've heard about?
No, it's perfect.
Except for Cam dying.
Or except for Cam.
And then
I was saying, wait, this was part of your plan all along? What? Why didn't you involve me in this plan?
Benediction had 1
think he
second
did.
left on its cooldown. 1 second.
Talid, in the second phase with Brute Justice and Cruise Chaser, could you faint right before you go for a new enumeration?
Yeah. I used it there after you came back for the pass.
I would actually probably say before the pass, like when I'm going to do, if I have to do ice, that would be the part where I would you need it the most.
Well, the only problem is that if you need it during ice, yeah, I can do it before enumeration.
I mean, it's not going to help for ice, but it'll help for the auto attacks that I'm taking.
Okay, because it's very short range.
Yeah.
that was.
Why are you trying to be so clever?
What?
Well,
That's
at least
karma
they're only...
right there. You deserve that one.
Well, Kanata was 8, so... It's like, don't think I don't see you standing there in the middle, like, I'll just wait until the middle one, like, you know, and then, like, walk the shortest distance for whatever reason to flex
He's-
on this phase.
He's not even healing us.
Yeah, just like I don't need to go around the circle like a plebeian.
I miscounted it. It's the first time I miscounted in a while.
Okay. Well, those are my 2 fouls, so we'll need a limit break. And their health is bad.
got. Yep.
Did you not pull it away?
No, I think we moved too soon.
Did we?
I mean, if we move too late, it's guaranteed to be the right one. So it's fine. That's the whole point. Like the only way that can happen is if we move too early.
I moved in like the same time that I normally move every time. I don't know. Maybe I was ahead on my GCDs. Maybe. I don't know how that could have happened.
I was off, so maybe it was me. But I usually takes both of us.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, wait. did you trigger, or did the mine do more damage than...
XCOG went off.
Oh, did it go off?
Oh, I didn't see that. Ignore that. Ready check. I'm gonna grab some water.
I don't see the damage from ice hitting me, though. Weird. Man, I parried a lot, though, that time.
Oh, I'm specifically talking after the second tank buster.
Just gonna see myself out here.
That was weird.
Well, no,
Well, it
someone was dead.
Yeah, it was just me. What? So are you specifically talking about the tank buster right before that cascade, Tam?
No, I'm talking about after we split from the hand and the liquid. When we go to do the dolls, the tank buster that's pretty much 2 or 3 GCDs after I run to the edge.
Yeah, it's a little better. I'm not having to cure to you there after I get to the middle.
I'll take it.
Should be fine on damage. Oh, real. Way better usual. I'll have a res in 3 seconds.
I run faster than that.
It really likes north-south tonight.
What?
Was that a high five that happened?
I mean,
Sort of.
yeah, it's a Lalafell, so it was a low 5.
Wow. Slap your shin.
Okay, so that I don't kill anybody there. If I'm 1, so I guess I stopped because I saw the other people on our side stop too. And my brain
Nope.
was like, okay, I'll stop.
1 for me is the hardest number. I don't know. Probably nobody else, but just me. Like, because it's
So-
before you're in a rhythm. So,
You go to 3 explosions.
Well, at 1, you're still you're just running along the dots, moving up to the explosion, and then as soon as this explosion, then you move to the next explosion, and then it will hit you while you're walking to the next explosion.
Okay, I get it.
And so like 1 should be standing like in that cadence of like explosion. 1 should be about to right here, and then 2 needs to be like right here, because there's going to be an explosion that's like right behind 2. And then after that is when you get the middle explosion to catch up.
Okay.
But 1 and 2 could be like, if 1 is late / slow, then it is very easy for 2 to die there because of you're still like, you've got the Hawk Blasters on your heels chasing you.
1 has the most pressure. Every time I get 1, I don't
I
like
hate
it.
1.
I don't
Wow.
like it.
Well, so let's say C there is 1. If you like see it drop and then you just come in and you just start going 1, 2, 3, stop, you're good.
You're not gonna make it to 3. It's gonna drop like.
I mean, you can.
You can sometimes make it there, but
I
usually
mean,
drop like here. Anyway.
That's a risky place to drop it, Kanata, since you're like,
Your 2 is going to be like right, yeah.
two
Like,
needs to be like,
come on.
here.
yeah, well,
right here.
that's why you need to
give
no
2 some
fear
space.
it. If you weren't in the first explosion, you can just keep going as long as you're counting your dots right.
I will say that's true, because
Oh,
even though it looks like it's landing on your head, like, the Hawk Blasters usually aren't.
It's already
because you're
locked
behind
in.
them. Yeah.
Actually, if it's
Yeah.
not at C, 1, 2, 3, 4, the explosions only take up these 2 pie slices, and then there's 1 in the
Yes.
middle. So this entire pie slice, you're fine. The problem
well,
is if
no. 1 would be fine, but 2 would be fucked. Right. So you still need to be walking as fast as possible. Just like don't stop and jitter run if you're 1. Because unless you're on this side of the pie slice when he shows up, he's going to show up behind you. So he's going to show up like right here, which means the 2 has to stand like right here. Because that last explosion is going to hit right here.
Yeah.
Like this is dead for number 2.
Yeah, you're not gonna make it to this one over here. Like,
If C is 1, yeah, you will.
you'll probably make it to like here, and it'll probably
I-
drop here.
I
Alright,
make
alright.
it,
I think we've explained it to death.
I guess.
I'm just trying to address my things that cause wipes as they come up.
Why am I dead to this crashing waves?
Holly, don't forget to wait till I pass before you're underwater.
Yeah, I saw you following me. I'm like, oh, I've left my friend behind.
Is that
Okay,
what
we were
killed
going to the
us?
same place.
No, it is not what killed us.
Okay. So
From second water, what is the best place to go so that I don't blow it up? I have tried going north, south, the other side of the arena. I seem to blow it up every single time, and I'm also trying to avoid stepping on people. Yeah, just west. We just clip through the floor, and then I won't touch it, I guess.
I have an idea. Why don't you go and stand right here? That way, if you have water, then you're there. And then if you don't have water, you just meander around the outside to over here.
Does Cruise Chaser cleave? Because he's like here.
no,
right?
Cruise
Point.
Chaser only does one cleave attack, and that's Spin Crusher.
Okay.
And that's early in the fight.
Then yeah, that seems fine.
Great. Okay, fantastic.
I cast 2 ad looks on you
Oh, did you?
and had XCOM.
No.
And
I was. If you cast the second one on me, it was either before I was checking or after I was taking the damage. So
yeah, it's between your second and third, not second, first and second mine, and it kills it immediately. Like it just like eats it.
I mean, you shouldn't count on getting that off in between there. I'm just gonna say that right now.
That's
Like-
what XCOG is for.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, don't count on being able to get an ad look off because it's usually like 1 second apart. I just go eat those right back to back because I got to get to my pass.
Yeah, just pretend you have 35,000 extra HP.
I am. I'm just saying. I saw 1 ad look between the time I was at 120k, so I got to 132k. I had ad look and a crit, and XCOG. So like it was enough because I didn't have ice. But if I had gotten ice, I would have died.
Would it be possible for the tank that has ice to say something? That way Kanata and I know who needs to be paid more attention to. Unless Kanata doesn't need that.
Well, I think by the time it happens, Tam's already out of range.
Yeah, it's too late. Like we gotta have them both topped off before. Like by the time we get here, they both need to be topped off when we move out of here.
Yeah, so I'm trying to throw a heal on Tam as we move in.
Mhm.
But by doing that, I don't necessarily have something instant for Solenta. And then if I use it on Solenta, I'm not going to have something instant for Tam.
I actually have no idea if I have like a regen up then. I mean, that's going to go a long way.
I can try to throw a regen on you as I'm moving into position. That would work.
Because, like, if I don't get ice, I'm probably fine. And if I get ice, then it takes me a couple GCDs because I got to walk all the way from the, like, way over here. All the way to go take the mines. So I can get a
Yeah.
couple ticks in.
You have time. Also, like, I have you selected. Like, if you're over there, and I know that you're... I have 1 stack to spend between the 2 of you, and I just throw it on whoever's lower. Because I saw that you had XCOG, you had 70-ish? You were going to be fine, so I threw the lesser on the Tam.
Oh, okay. I mean, if you're carefully watching, I'll take your word for it. I was just like surprised, like because as ice was coming out, I was like, well, if I get ice, I'm dead.
Yeah, if you get ice, you would trigger the XCOG immediately. Then I would know. Well, then there's kind of an issue where it's like, well, if you go too quick, you're just gonna die because it's not gonna be able to cast fast enough. So it's tricky, but I can do it. Plus, I can guarantee the crit there. So it's not luck that it crit. It's got a crit there.
I remember joking for like 3 expansions that they're going to give Scholar an auto crit skill, and then they finally did it after they made Scholar crit suck.
I mean, presumably, we're going to have to rework more than a couple things throughout this, right?
Probably, yeah.
So, I mean, this is in the guide that we've been using. It says to do that.
Do what?
If you need more DPS, have Brute Justice tank always take the mines, so the bosses will be together for more cleave damage. So Tam would always just be taking the mines.
And he would like come from way up north all the way south.
At what point? At what point is that happening?
In the guide, it's at 50 seconds.
It's during enumerations.
Okay, during enumerations. So I would be able to, I mean, like anytime they're close enough, like being able to use Bane is useful because it saves me 2 GCDs. If I would be able to hit them with both with a Death Flare and with 2 Enkindles. Like, if Brute Justice is south during the 3rd water, that is a considerable amount of damage that I can gain by having 2 targets.
I think we need to seriously consider if there's a time in the fight we can have them together, we should be doing it and changing our strats accordingly.
Like, I'm already losing a lot of DPS because they're like on opposite sides of the football field during Phoenix phase, which is my biggest cleave damage time. But there's no real helping that since they're doing very opposite things at the moment. Unless there's some way for Tam to just be south on Cruise Chaser like all the time. But I don't think so because there's the flamethrower thing going on.
No, I mean it's doable. I think.
Yeah, I don't think that would be necessarily all that difficult. I would just need to.
The hardest part is figuring out when you can come south.
Yeah, because we need to bait them, and then I would need to come south.
We got to deal with ice first, I think, the way we've been doing it. But after that, you can bring them south.
Like, I can hold off my Phoenix and still get a second Phoenix during the Enrage cast for about 5 GCDs. And that's like when we're handling the first water. But if I wait like much...
First water.
First water. So this is, I mean, sort of needless info dump about my rotation during this, but I have Bahamut immediately coming up after the limit cut, you know, the chasing the Hawk Blasters, right? So at the end of that, they both show up and I'm able to get like 1 cleave hit on them with Bahamut before they get pulled away for us doing the thing where we're doing the out and then the in. And after that point, they're like never next to each other for the rest of the fight. And so it goes straight from Bahamut into Phoenix. And that's when we're doing the first water. Because I have the Bahamut phase going while we're doing the out and in. And then after that, it's like a whole minute before I get another like useful cleave phase. So that's like pretty much all of enumerations, second water, limit cut, shield. And then third water is when my Dreadworm trance comes back up, which means that I can do the Death Flare, I can do another Enkindle Bahamut. And then we resolve that stuff, and I can save my Phoenix, or if I pushed it back from the first phase or the first part, it will be back up when they Brute Justice finishes doing the Apocalyptic Ray and then comes back north. It would be the most ideal time to do it. If I pop it early, like as soon as it's up, then I'm using Phoenix on just Cruise Chaser again, which is not efficient.
So it sounds like what we're talking about actually does you no good.
If even if it's only at the end of the third water, if they're on top of each other, then I can at least cleave them for Death Flare and one, if not both, Enkindle Bahamut for the third water.
Well, when third water is happening is when I'm dragging Cruise Chaser over to B for the ice. So that sounds like it's very, like, I mean, yes, placeholder. It matters, and other people might be able to contribute more. But I'm just saying, like, it's not going to be for that long, and I gotta then drag Cruise Chaser around, and then Brute Justice is going to jump away again. Like, we can try to keep them together as much as we can, but like,
would it be beneficial if, like, after we split for the chakrams and come back together, instead of me going right to D, after everybody like splits off, goes to where they need to go, I basically center Brute Justice right in the middle, and then I like get close to D so that I can take the lightning.
I mean,
Yes.
I don't know if that's gonna help anyone else, but they're still too far apart for me to do anything useful with that.
If you can keep them close enough to AoE during that phase, that'll be kind of big for me at least.
if Bruce Justice is in the middle, Cruise Chaser's like here.
Yeah, if he was, yeah, that would be good.
That's plenty close.
We should be doing that. If that's an option, then yes.
I guess
but hold
also
on. So I want to be clear that like we're not doing this based off of how much you guys want us to be together. We're doing this based off of the tank mechanics. So let's work that out because there are implications to where we're standing for all these things.
Well,
It's not really a question of how much you want them to be together.
For Tam's case, is there a mechanic he needs to do before he goes and gets the first lightning in the west side?
Nope.
So then,
passing the Nisi and not running over anyone else.
Right.
does he pass or does someone
yeah.
pass to him?
I mean, I am the one that runs over Tam right after we resolve the chakrams and the photon happens.
Yeah. So at this point, it's just a traffic change to increase DPS, which is fine. You guys can figure that out, right?
It
I
might
mean,
be more convenient in the long run, even for me and Tyleet to switch positions and have him take the AD spoke and I take the CD spoke, and then I always pass to Kanata because then we wouldn't have to crisscross. Normally that crisscross happens later, either whenever I'm ready to B or when I'm going to D for the lightning. But
Right, and then you just come over to be with me, like behind me or something. That's fine.
if I start out on the CD side, then I think that untangles some of the path crossing that has to happen,
I agree.
and that would be immediately after the Hawk Blasters finish, when we're coming back in for the two of them landing.
Oh yeah, like when first water is going off, I would need to be over at lightning anyway.
Okay. I'm just thinking because when I am dragging Cruise Chaser around, I need to drag Cruise Chaser basically from 4 to like here. And I need to book it to get that done. So
Yeah,
that
I
we
don't-
can then do. I guess
I
my
don't-
guy locks himself in place with Spin Crusher, but
like after I get over to D, I have like 3 or 4 GCDs before lightning goes off. So maybe even 5 GCDs.
Yeah, I'm just. There's gonna be a bunch of people in the middle, probably.
So assuming that you're still at A, so you're running to A or to slightly to the side to avoid the chakrams. Are you just going to run around the clump of people to get brute justice in the middle, or are you going to do it after the pass?
Well, as long as nobody is near like 1-4 on the C side, I should be able to center them and get them over to, or get over to 3-ish to get the pass.
Sorry, this is. I'm trying to get the timing here exactly. This is before or after photon.
Well, we pass after photon, so it'd be after photon.
Okay, so everyone in the middle who's like already run back in needs to like just like chill in this you know, on your spoke. And then Tam runs around the group of people without passing, without touching anyone, to get brute justice in the middle. And then you're going to resolve your pass.
No, I would be passing, or I'd be moving him after like everybody goes like to water and stuff.
Okay, so that's after the pass.
Yes, after the pass.
After photon, after the pass.
Yes.
Okay.
There'd just be way too many people there to try and like, because like if I had to run around, that would take way too long.
And also everyone else is running in at the same time.
Yeah.
So, this is of course going to place brute justice in. If we put brute justice right in the middle there, now brute justice is in possibly the worst spot for the next thing that's going to happen, which is that enumerations is going to happen. Well, I guess enumeration and second pass happen first, so that's a little bit of time.
But mines. Brute Justice needs to be north.
Oh,
Right after.
Not necessarily. Who would be further away from brute justice if he was in the middle?
probably nobody. Probably still the healers.
As long as no one is further south, certainly no one's going to be further away from brute justice on the north side, because no one's on the north side.
Probably.
It's very realistic.
Probably work. Let's try it.
I guess what I was thinking of though was flamethrower, of course, which happens after this.
I mean, if he's in the middle, I can pull him a little bit towards D. Wait, no, I can't.
So it should be fine for flamethrower, assuming. So if the center of brute justice hitbox is like here, and not the literal middle of the stage, the DPS is lining up, you know, like right here, so should not get hit by the flamethrower cone. But like, they also need to not be the closest.
Yeah, brute justice isn't going to be like center. Like he'll still be like left or west of center.
And it means that you need to be like real close to the middle of his hitbox to
Yeah.
plant that flamethrower.
And not trigger the water.
But yeah, I guess if you can do that, then the rest is probably fine.
The other thing that we could do to help adjust that is we can shift our vertical line like over about like 1 waymark's width. So it'd be like me, placeholder, Midori, Kylie.
Do you want me to turn it a little bit?
Turn what?
Well, I can. So if I put Cruise Chaser like here, I could turn it this way and they're closer together, or I can put it here and then they're probably too far apart to DPS.
I mean, at that point, we're fighting the shield.
Another way to get farther from the water is put the water farther west. So I'll put it right there. Then we'll never like run into the water.
I mean, there is no reason why the water is this far in, other than we have not yet needed it to be any closer.
Yeah, so we put it here, even if Brute Justice is like there, it's fine.
All right. Well, we'll just put the water right there. There's the new water marker.
Yep.
If we wanted to, if like when I'm running back in from chakrams, if nobody could be like around the C dot in the middle, like where placeholder is standing right now, I could just run straight through and center them at that point.
Where would the person that's coming from the south stand?
Possibly stand out a little bit. Like they just need to either like be out here or
they're gonna get hit
by a Hawk Blaster.
hit by the Hawk Blaster. Like even
right.
placeholders where placeholders standing would get hit by the Hawk Blaster.
Unless that person, I guess, baits it somewhere else.
Yeah, if everyone promises to not bait it around like this, that's too much.
Yeah.
I think it's easier to imagine a world where everyone runs in and then you like actually run around the outside of everyone's going to be stacked on this metal ring, and then you just do like this little like whoop thing during photon. But then you need to still resolve the first pass. Like if you're doing that and I'm the one at the south, then I can still do the first pass with you. Because I would be standing right there.
Ooh, big brain play here. Salenta, where are you at? Are you south? For
I'm right here. Or for what?
For 8 ways.
I'm east.
When we go out for chakrams. You're east? Would it be possible if I got the south position and from there I wouldn't need to move Brute Justice all that much because he would already kind of be close to Cruise Chaser?
Well, no, hold on. So he can't be too far south. Like he's got to be like in the middle or on the like northwest corner of that circle. Like if he's too far south, like the healers are not going to get picked for the mines because people are running out for waters and stuff, and like nobody's supposed to be that far away. But if the boss is like in the south half, like it's hard. There is a reason why they are separated. Like that was not a total accident.
Out of curiosity, why? Like it doesn't matter to me. Why did y'all pick the strat where healers bait the mines?
There were literally 8 strats on this giant grid, and it says these are 8 different ways that you can do this fight. And we're like, thanks, guide. I guess we'll pick this one.
That's valid. I was just curious if there was like a reason beyond closing eyes, pointing at the screen and choosing a strat.
Well,
I picked the one that had the simpler lightning and water placement.
Yeah,
it did have a very easy to understand water and lightning placement, because it was like always on the cardinals,
Um,
and also it seemed like the DPS had to move less.
when we run out for chakrams, which way are you running, Telly?
Currently or in carrots?
Currently, right now.
Currently southwestish.
So you're not getting any DPS in when we do that.
Sort of.
You're not getting any melee DPS in.
No, I am currently doing one ranged ninjutsu and throwing knives. And I'm basically stuck doing that until the photon pass because of uncertainty of photon placement.
So, yeah, if we switch you and Carrot, you'd at least get to hit Brute Justice when you go out.
So, can I take a step back? Because looking at the 8 strategies posted, every single one of them has the bosses separated, except the one that we picked. Ours is the only one that actually has the 2 bosses together. Maybe we're just pulling them too far and stuff. Right? Like it's the carry strat.
Maybe we're just going so big brain it's like we have encephalitis.
Well, like in this one, both basically Brute Justice is on the northwest quarter or of the circle, and Cruise Chaser is like on the southeast corner of the circle. So they're both like in the middle ish, but they're not like, they're still like in the same general direction that we're taking them. There's just not that far. Like pushing the water farther out so that Tam doesn't get killed by the second water. That seems like a good idea. But other than maybe some hijinks with the way Tam needs to get Brute Justice back to that, you know, the north side of 1, like, maybe that's all we need to change.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't proposing switching to one of the other strats, as long as they
Well, my point though is like
become.
we were trying to change this strat completely with a whole bunch of minor changes, right? Like talking about maybe moving him to the south side or to the middle or directly, and it's like that might be too much of a change.
Well, the corollary to that is Cruise Chaser needs to stay more towards the middle as well.
Yeah. That's easy enough for me. I'm not worried about keeping Cruise Chaser closer to the middle. That's fine. Tam's the one who's going to need to cross the whole traffic, so. But we can just try it. So, Tam, you know where you need to try to get him to?
How long is that ice portal out for?
I'm trying to decide if it's 2 or 3 GCDs. Probably 3. Oh wait, you mean after it's dropped?
Yeah,
Oh, I don't fucking know. I literally.
it's probably not. It's probably not long enough for what I'm thinking. But even if it is for what I'm thinking, it would be way too dangerous to do it.
Well, we would want them in the middle before that, like for a while.
I was thinking if we could like freeze one side if I get ice and freeze the other side if you get ice, but I don't think that's possible. I think you have to freeze the first one because I don't think it lasts long enough.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the tornado explodes before that happens. If you try to freeze the second one.
I thought the ice went off before the second one even dropped.
No, if you don't freeze the first tornado, the tornado will explode.
Well, no,
Or
well,
flamethrower.
but what I'm saying is I don't think you even get the chance to freeze the second one.
Yeah, I don't think the ice puddle stays around long enough to be able to freeze the second one.
I'm also not sure if like the puddle being on the floor will freeze. Like, how would you get the second water into that puddle? You'd have to have somebody walk into the ice puddle and then die.
That's true
Well,
too.
What happens is the ice puddle. You drop the ice puddle outside the tornado, right, and then it grows.
And then it grows. Yeah.
Yeah, but would it grow before the second water goes off or not?
Probably. No.
No, because the second tornado second water pops when the second lightning goes off, right? The second lightning goes off several GCDs after Tam has brought Living Liquid over back to, not Living Liquid, Brute Justice back more towards the center to pre-aim it towards the second water, but the ice has long since fully expanded.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's already expanded, so like you couldn't drop the second water and then have the ice expand into it. Otherwise, people would have to be in the ice to drop the water.
Food check.
Wow, we're already 2 foods into tonight.
Another chicken leg. Don't worry, I ordered KFC.
Well, I was worried, and you put my mind to rest, I guess.
Oh, they were too far apart.
Their health was too far apart.
Yes.
Is there a way to turn off other people's debuffs on my target
Yes.
bars?
Yes.
Tell me how to do that after this poll, because I'm sick of not seeing my shit.
Everything is backwards.
Oh yeah, that's spicy.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
get in the string, Phoenix.
Maybe too spicy. I like the positioning a lot though.
Yeah.
Can
Be
you,
honest, Phoenix with both of them in the middle, that's thumbs up.
Tam,
Alright.
can you stay south? Because I gotta get to the other side.
I
Gotta
can't
break on
because I
through.
need to get to west.
Okay, then can you pull it south, then go and don't cross the middle again?
Sure.
Yeah, alright.
I was waiting, or I was hoping that you would, like, after I went south to do that, you would just run as I was doing that, but because I went back to the center to then cut across because I didn't want to go directly there because somebody was there.
Okay, placeholder. Go to character configuration,
Mhm.
UI settings, HUD, scroll down to the bottom under targets, target information, check display only detrimental effects you inflict.
Bet. Okay. I'm like, oh, there's 4 things on there. I guess I won't see my thunder. So annoying.
You can also increase the number of detrimental effects that it shows on any given target.
I guess my focus bar was the problem. I don't know if that I can specifically. Whatever. I'm just gonna leave them off for now.
So that only affects the target bar. The focus bar will still show everyone's debuffs.
Why is it like this?
Why is it like this? Because small indie studio.
I can see that one just fine, but if there's more than 4 on the focus target, I can't see my thunder. That's so.
All right. So on that, where was that?
Can you set it to prioritize your debuffs?
No,
That's-
that would also be nice.
I do.
So that's only on the party list where you can change the number of status effects that it shows. Why is it like this?
So question. Is there like an ACT version of this? Because I know ACT can do your target and focus bars.
Yes, you can have an ACT overlay that not only shows you all of the debuffs and stuff like that, but have little like timer bars that like tick down so that you can see like how close it is to reapplying it or whatever.
Placeholder wants to inject our memories.
I mean, can I just get an ACT thing that just reapplies thunder for me? Can it weave my spells?
You just wanted to do your rotation for you, the whole thing?
Yeah.
That's called a bot.
Alright, I'll look into this tomorrow or some other time. I'll just deal with it for now.
I'll still manually jump around.
Yeah, well, I gotta do something during triple cast. No. That's tragic.
Ah. Wow.
I'm 3 and 5.
That's probably bad. Whoa. That's not a lot. Walking on the line is dangerous. With the first explosion at sea, the line is dangerous.
A line is always dangerous.
Oh god.
Get away from away from the fire into the fire. That was very chaotic.
I had almost like a straight line through the middle to get there.
Yeah, it's basically empty. Like right when you do that, it is actually basically empty.
Also, when you get there, you probably saw me running towards you because that's what he's doing, his spin crusher. So careful.
We should also like take our stretch break.
Oh, I think he was kidding.
Now let's just
Because
do it.
we're not anywhere near clearing this fight. We're like 3 minutes in.
Something about monkeys and Shakespeare. I don't know.
We are still almost 2 hours in. So
Plus, I thought we were gonna do one lockout and then talk about what we want to actually do with Ultimate.
well, I already left. So what are we? Are we going back in or what?
Well, that depends, dude. Are people going to like go to bed straight at 9:15 or whatever?
I don't need to go to bed, but I do need to record a video before I go to sleep, so I'm not going to be staying on much longer. I can maybe do like 15 minutes longer.
I was way past my bedtime last night, so I'd prefer not to have to do that again if we can avoid it.
Well, if it's gonna take longer than 15 minutes, we should probably talk about it before that.
I'm gonna go walk the pupper, and then we'll do whatever to do. Burp.
Why is my fat cat on there?
Because you got your priorities straight.
Hey, it's your hot bar.
I mean, it's clearly hasn't been touched in, like, literally years. I must have hit 70, like... No, I did play a little bit. But probably, like, since 2018, yeah. I haven't touched this hotbar. It's such a cute minion.
Oh, I was talking with my thingy. Man, I really don't like your layout, but you do you, man. That's just like this cube of spells with no rhyme or reason to why are they there?
So wait a minute. Why is your limit break between boiled eggs and
And Aether Compass.
yeah, and your Aether Compass?
It's just somewhere on the bar. It's not even assigned to anything.
My question is like, why is the hot as fuck real estate of like shift 1 and 2 changing sects a thing you literally cannot do in combat?
I thought you could do that now.
No.
No. That's control 1 and 2. And that's not very easy to do. Well, you can't do control 1 and 2 while moving. The only keys I can really push while moving is like Q, E, R, F, X, Z, X, Z, C. Yeah. Maybe V. The others are pretty hard to push without not being able to move a certain direction. Oh, and like 2, 3, 4. Actually, no, just like 3 and 4. 2's hard to push. Maybe 5. It's like 3, 4, E, R, Q are the easy ones.
Is everyone back?
I am back. I'm hitting a dummy.
Is it spreadsheet time?
No. So here are the things that we need to talk about with regards to Ultimate. And feel free to add on to this. First, we need to talk about if we're going to be continuing Ultimate concurrently with Savage when the expansion comes out. We need to talk about if we're going to be changing which Ultimate that we're working on, whether or not new Ultimate gets added. We need to talk about if we want to like buckle down and try to clear this, which might require adding an additional night or having ultimates on a different night entirely from raid night, kind of like we do for Blue Mage. And if people would still show up to that, and then like if we do have a separate night for Ultimate, whether we continue to do Ultimate on Tuesday, Wednesday, you know, it is plausible to have like here's the Tuesday, Wednesday like Savage group, and we're just working on Ultimate because we have nothing else to do on Tuesday, Wednesday, and you know, we enjoy each other's company. And then have a separate, not necessarily the same people going in on Saturday or Sunday or something like that, which doesn't necessarily mean that all of the things that we learn transfer from one to the other, but having some people who have gotten further in the fight can help pull the rest of the people along. Like, here's a thing that we learned on our Saturday thing. It's like, if you do it like this, it's a lot easier, you know? I think we saw clearly that it was a lot easier to get Oli up to basically as far as we had ever been in like 2 nights, which like that was months of wipes condensed into like 2 nights, right? You know, like we didn't even get that far for so long. So having people who can like guide you through the fight is a thing. The other thing is like, particularly if we're hitting DPS in rages, if we're going into this or a different ultimate, how we're picking the classes, I think, needs to be different than how we're picking the classes for Savage, right? Like, we need to pick the class that has the best total, like, raid value, and that could involve choosing a comp, but it also could involve, like, choosing the players that have, you know, like, for DPS, the people who have the highest like historical parses to push the highest DPS and see what the like winningest comps are out there. I also think, like, just as an aside, I enjoyed the first month of wiping in T to a point where we had literally no idea what we're doing, but if we're going into a new fight, I think I've gotten that out of my system, at least for ultimate fights, right? So, like, going straight in with guides and as much help and as much video and as much like homework for people to see, like, this is our strat. I mean, even if what we end up doing is like, all right, we're taking a raid night to actually just watch this 1.5 hour long video together so that we are all at least somewhat on the same page. Anyway, those are the topics that I have to discuss. Did Placeholder, I know you had some stuff that you want to talk about.
No, I think you got it all. We can just start going through the bullet points, but the overall gist of it is that what we're doing for ultimate content is not good enough to clear ultimate content. I think we need to change how we're going into it from a couple different perspectives if we ever want to actually clear it. Like, I've said it a few times now, and I'm not trying to be negative about it, but we haven't even gotten to the hard part of this fight yet. And we've been at this for months, and there's too much inconsistency. There's too much like stopping and going on the fights when new raid tiers come out. I really think if we are serious about clearing content, it needs to be broken off from something that's going to stop us from doing it for months at a time, at the very least. And I also agree that if we need to be seriously looking at our raid comps and making sure that they're min-maxed as best as we can make them, because, you know, we're not world firsters, right? We're not casuals, but we're not all parsing 99th percentile. So we need all the help we can get when it comes to who's playing what class and what our raid comp synergy actually looks like. Even though they've been doing a decent job of homogenizing synergy, which is annoying, but at the same time, there are still raid comps that are just better, and we need to be considering that too, I think.
All right, I'm gonna let you drive this boat. You drive boats, right? Anyway,
I don't, all right.
Whatever the we should address these bullet points one at a time. But like, what do we want to talk about first?
Well, first things first, I think we need to discuss if we're going to break ultimate content apart from Savage in a more permanent fashion. Which would, I mean, I guess the end result of that is once new content comes out, we kind of clear it, get our 8 clears, and then just do we not do anything on Tuesday and Wednesday after that point? Or do we farm mounts or something else? I don't know what our raid night looks like after that once we've done the split. So I'll leave that open to the floor.
So I think that depends on if we get the exact same 8 people on Ultimate Night as Savage Nights, right?
Fair.
Because if we have the same party, then we can continue to make progress on Savage Nights But if
I guess what I'm using as a reference is our Blue Mage Night, where we have, what is it, 2 or 3 people that are different? Is it 2?
yeah, we have Havana
Yeah,
and
Waterless and Havana, right? So I envision that it might be a similar case with an ultimate night if we add another night where not everyone's going to make it. So I guess we should start with, are there nights where everyone can actually make it and keep the group together for a extra night or even 2, I don't know, for ultimate content?
In general, yes. It's just a matter of like most people, if work happens, work happens.
I'm mainly asking, I think, Kanata right now.
Yeah,
'Cause I have the feeling you're cringing right now at this idea.
yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of cringing at it too if I have to add another night onto Friday night.
like, is anyone open to the idea of doing something on a Saturday or a Sunday in a semi-permanent fashion?
I definitely cannot do that.
Because I think the only other option would be like to basically consume Blue Mage Night and go back to the Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday schedule on a more permanent basis.
I mean, I was gonna say, for Blue Mage at least, the expansion is not going to come with new Blue Mage content, right? And so once we've done with Omega and we go back and get Oliher reclears, we're kind of done with Blue Mage for a good while, right?
As far as I know, like, it was even a shock that they bumped it up to 70, like, in this expansion cycle,
Right.
because
I don't think we were
like
expecting that.
they're not going to bump it up to 80 for a while. Like, we're like fucking maybe halfway through the next expansion.
So presumably at some point, Blue Mage Knight will become a Ultimate Knight,
Or
unless it
a
fuses into something
potential
else.
open at night.
Right. But I don't think we should rely on that. I think there should be another night, and then that becomes like a bonus night for extra progression at some point, once it's available.
Or we could move blue.
Yeah, I mean, if
I think the point is blue is not the problem
Okay.
in the long run.
Well, I mean, if everyone here could make it Fridays,
Mhm.
then we move blue.
Yeah, I can see that happening. I mean, the people who typically have scheduling issues don't come with us to blue, right? So
Or just didn't care about blue.
But Marble mounts.
so, Kanata, the follow-up question is, if we were to do ultimate progression on Fridays, is that something that you would do?
Is there a day of the week that you can actually do it?
Not really. It's tough to get another day. I mean, in theory,
this is probably a rhetorical question, but I'll put it on the floor anyway. Is there a world where we chop one of our raid nights and turn that one into a Savage Night? Or not a Savage Night, but a Ultimate Night? Either Tuesday or Wednesday?
If we absolutely do not care about our pace of Savage progression, that's the only realistic
Right.
world.
Obviously, that cuts it in half, right?
Well, our goal has
makes
been
it way more than twice as long to clear the content.
yeah, our goal has been to clear the 4th raid before the the end of the patch.
I figured it was rhetorical, but I'm displaying options.
I don't know, weekend may be best for adding an ultimate time slot.
I guess I should ask this. Is the consensus that what we're doing in Ultimate is not enough to actually clear the content? Like, does everyone agree that we need to be adding more and doing more?
I would say yes.
Yeah, my ultimate group ran 3 to 4 nights a week, depending on people's schedules. So for 3 hours each night.
For how long?
Well, we went a month, but some people had already cleared the fight, so
That's pretty quick, actually.
it was. I mean, the first night we did Uwu, we were already at Titan, which is the big roadblock. So
Wow.
Well, I mean, then we're at a point here where like something's got to give, right? We all agree that we need to add more and do more, but we can't find a consensus on what that actually entails. So, do we need to start putting up the votes and like making hard decisions, or what? I don't want to just like flounder around in this one question when we have other things to address.
I mean, we can go through the days, right? Like, are people available Monday? I'm pretty sure that's a resounding no from a bunch of people.
All right, so I'm pretty sure that you are the one with the most constricted schedule. So, what nights, if you could commit more, what could you commit, Kanata?
In theory, Thursdays and Fridays are technically open.
And this is in theory because your mahjong parlor thing is like defunct.
I'm thinking about moving Fridays off of the schedule for the Martial Parlor. And Thursday is supposed to be something else, but
Would this be a thing that you feel like miserable about? Because I don't want you to be miserable at, for our expense.
I mean, I personally don't mind, but there might be someone who does.
Like a significant other?
Yeah,
Like a hypothetical person that, who could it be? It's anyone. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be anyone. She's totally not watching the stream or anything. Cough, cough. Wink, wink. No, she's not. Cool.
Okay, so at very least, I think if we go up to 3 nights a week until the expansion hits, like that is, how should I put it? Like, sort of like I think the bare minimum to like continue to make reasonable progress, because we don't have anything else that's really competing for that time. And if the night that we add is Thursday, then that won't force us to like reconsider our blue mage thing, and by the time the expansion rolls around, we won't be doing blue mage anymore.
You got jokes. We're gonna get walled on Omega for a while, but that's a different story.
You think we're going to get walled until the end of November?
Maybe, yeah.
All right, so what's the next topic? Just so that we don't spend all night on this one.
So yeah, party comp is probably something we need to seriously look at, and also min-maxing the people who are on each class to the most we can.
Before we move on, so the feeling is then that we're gonna move up to 3 nights a week, same time, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
That is tentatively the proposal.
Does anyone here have an issue with that before we move forward?
and this is also operating off the assumption that it's gonna be the 8 of us, whether it's Savage or Ultimates, and we're not gonna like do another group or something, or would that be something that the people who are interested in it would deal with that on their own separately? Because if we're moving up to 3 nights, then it's probably would be asking a lot for a 4th as a whole group, right?
I think if the assumption is if we're keeping this group 3 nights a week is sort of the bare minimum to make like reasonable progress. And maybe that's not a shared sentiment, but if you disagree, then please feel free to speak up now.
I mean, even if there's disagreement about that idea, I think our track record proves that we need to be doing more. So it's probably a necessity. I think it seemed pretty accepted that we can just add Thursday. So I say we do that for now, and if we need to readdress the Friday situation at a later date, maybe we can.
All right. Because, yeah, want to make sure that we sort of, even if people change their mind or whatever, like we should at least speak up or whatever if people do have a problem with it. So, okay.
I have a question I think I know the answer to. Is there any way we could start a little earlier and end a little earlier? Just because, like, sleep is a thing that I enjoy.
Be for the West Coast boys to handle, right?
Yeah, and I assume it's probably not feasible, but I figured I would ask.
Yeah, not really for me.
Yeah,
So-
the only reason we're 9:15 is because West Coast was mostly working from home.
Yeah, and also able to get off work at like 6 most of the time, which means we have like 10, 15 minutes to not go directly from a meeting that ends at 6 to raid.
Okay, I
It's-
figured that's what it was, but I thought I would ask.
Yeah, I can't consistently start earlier, especially since right now I have a recurring meeting that starts at 5 p.m. on Tuesdays. Doesn't happen every week, but when it's not canceled, then I basically go like meeting at 3 p.m., meeting at 4 p.m., meeting at 5 p.m., raid at 6.
You guys actually keep your meetings to an hour?
I mean, clearly not by last night.
Fair.
Well, that is a partner meeting which happens 8 times a year. So it's not even something that I get to schedule or know in advance. But it's not a routine thing, it's not an every week thing.
Okay. So that's the commitment topic.
And also, I can't do before 6:30 tomorrow, but in theory, I could get the 6:15. I'll let you know on that one.
Right. So then, before I guess we get into classes, maybe we should touch on this because it might be more relevant at the moment. How do we feel about continuing in T or pivoting into something like UU, which is considerably easier?
We were talking about how we think it was easier, and then there were all kind of asterisks that were thrown up.
There are asterisks, and I thought about it more today because I figured we would talk about it tonight. I think one of the reasons it's easier is because there's not as many strats. So there's pretty much 2 guides for UWU, and you kind of pick between 2 strats for most things, and that's it.
Can't you also like stack in one spot for a good chunk of the mechanics that matter?
Yes, yeah. I think mechanically speaking, like on the whole, the mechanics themselves are probably easier than T. Like I remember telling my friend after like the first night in T, I was like, the entirety of Living Liquid is harder than the last phase of Ultima. So
So with that in mind, is anyone strictly against pivoting into Uwu at this point? And
So
again, I want to drive home the point real quick that we're barely into Alexander at this point. I know it feels like we're really far in, but we're really not. So go ahead, Tyler.
if we want to pivot, like we need to actually like dedicate something to prepping people's gear if we want to get the best stuff available for that given fight.
you don't have to for Uwu or Yukab anymore. Unless you're a tank. If you're a tank, there's some gear stuff, but with everybody else, you can just go in with whatever's best for the current tier.
I thought we found that you still got a little bit by doing the whatever it would be for Uwu, but like the 445 for or 345 for Bahamut, like and like the 475 for T
I
are
already have a
meaningful.
set for Uwu.
Yeah, doesn't everyone still have their 475 gear in anticipation of Uwu?
You mean 375?
No.
Oh, 375, yeah.
375.
So
But
375
I
no.
actually have a gear set for it already.
I don't think I have my UCOP gear anymore.
Alright,
Well, I don't even know. I'm gonna be honest. I am not gonna play the same class.
I was gonna say,
that I played at that during that expansion.
we would need to, before even deciding who's gearing up what, we would need to figure out what people are playing on classes. So before even that, though, we need to make a decision on whether or not we're actually going to switch into Uwu. So does
Yeah.
anyone have any strong objections against doing that?
I think my only statement would be that if the gearing is our problem, then that would be a wonderful problem to have.
Right. I'm inclined to agree. That should be the least of our worries right now.
Yeah, my biggest concern. I mean, like we did get back rolling pretty quickly, and like it didn't take more than a night to remember my T rotation or something like that. But we do have a lot sort of. It's the thing that we keep talking about, starting and stopping. We're talking about deliberately starting and stopping again. And if we think that the goal is like, okay, we're gonna clear the easiest one, I personally do not believe in the existence of a morale boost. I think the existence of a morale boost would stop people from like, I'm planning on quitting the game, but I don't think that's going to make them a better player. So if we wall on T, and then we go and even if we beat Uwu, we're still going to wall on T.
And there are absolute. Oh, go ahead, Midori.
Oh, I was just saying, there's also an argument to be made for clearing it before they change all of our classes into something else.
That is reasonable if we think that we can clear it before November. Yeah.
There's also the fact that there are also going to be walls in Uwu, more than likely. It is the nature of an ultimate. Like, it may not be the same as Limit Cut, but there are parts where, you may not get a certain mechanic for 10 pulls in a night, and suddenly you get it, and you have no idea what to do, and you're causing wipes. Like, story of my life currently, but, just something to keep in mind. Like, it's not going to be, we are not going to clear it in a month. Like, straight up, that won't happen. But do I think our odds of clearing Uwu before the expansion are higher than us clearing T?
Before the expansion?
Slightly.
Probably.
Slightly
maybe.
higher. Yeah, maybe not like a significant bit higher, but I think it's slightly higher.
Okay. Well, I think there are good points on both sides. We should probably just put this one to a vote then. Kara, can you make a Discord thingy real quick?
Why?
I'm delegating.
Ugh.
I mean, yeah, we could just do a ready check. So hit yes.
No.
Okay, fine. Do a Discord thing. There, Kanana's got one.
I'm gonna delete that because it's ugly.
votes up in Discord.
Still need a couple of votes. All right. Well, we hit 5 on Uwu, so
Are you voting for Uwu?
no. But if 4 people are voting for Uwu, I'm not going to like cock block us by splitting the vote. I'll just be a tiebreaker. Anyway, so all right. Let's assume we're pivoting to Uwu. Now
Okay.
what?
Well, now we obviously we're going into it full strats, so I like your suggestion of us actually going through everything kind of together. And I think this time around, I don't know the fight, but I think it will behoove us to have like more direction in the raid itself. Like most immediate example comes to mind is our traffic patterns during tea time. Like everyone's kind of just figuring it out for themselves, as opposed to like one person saying you're gonna stand here and you're gonna stand there and and then we just do our jobs, kind of a thing. Like with us all trying to figure it out at
I
the
think
same
what you're
time,
looking
it
for
doesn't
is
work.
John fucking Madden.
Yes, in a sense.
You're gonna draw
I mean,
little X's and like arrows going around, and
and
but
typically
no.
that comes with the strat, right? Like the comfy strats tell everyone to stand, and that's fine. But we never had that for the second phase in T, and it's always been a shit show with our traffic patterns.
It's
Like to
traffic
the
when it
point
goes
where
nice.
we're still walking into each other, and like at random points in the fight, and that shouldn't be happening because for the most part that phase is pretty consistent as far as movement. The only real variable that changes is enumeration and
No,
like
it's who gets
thunder.
lightning.
Right.
Like
And-
who gets lightning, and then someone coming from a random spot.
But that's the thing. There
happens
shouldn't be any
once a
random
night.
spots, right? Like we should
I
presumably
agree.
be able to account for those contingencies and
I
create.
I,
scope
I
of work.
agree. I agree.
So I
Move on.
think in the next thing we should seriously consider doing that, and that part of that I think comes from watching the video together. So that said, we need to actually figure out what classes everyone's going to be going into, and this is the part that's going to get touchy.
So-
Also, hasn't Ollie cleared? So we can just.
So I cleared it 6 times and then reprogged it on 2 different classes. So
Sounds like you're volunteering to be Jane Madden.
I
Congratulations.
don't understand that reference, but okay.
So there's this
assuming
this
she's-
You're
football
making me
coach.
feel old. Right now, just letting you know.
Sorry. If it helps, I found a gray hair today, so I am old.
Oh wait, hang on a second.
One, huh?
This is
One.
the only
You
thing that
found one.
matters.
Hey, gray hair. Oh, jeez.
Must be
Single? A single?
I was like a third gray at the end of high school.
same mood.
All right.
I'm about
So
half now.
all you need to know about John Madden is that he was a famous football coach that explained things on TV in a way that was confusing to lay people, but made sense to him. And then there's this thing that started the. I'll just add you. There you go. This thing, which is started the meme.
Oh. Okay.
Which is itself a joke after he descended into senility.
But yes, I can talk through most of the fight. There are a couple of mechanics. So the mechanics I don't feel the most comfortable with are tank mechanics.
Not your problem.
Unfortunately, yeah, it is literally
Yeah, that's fine.
something I never learned because the tank would just always position it and then tell us how to do Ifrit dashes. So
We'll take 2/3 guidance over 0. So, yeah.
Well, that handles. I mean, it's like Carrot mentioned earlier. When someone actually knows what they're doing and can guide it, things go exponentially faster. So, congratulations, Ola. You just been promoted to in charge of Uwu.
great. I still have markers, so
Yay!
we'll see what they look like when we get in there.
All right, is everyone ready for the hard part?
Yup.
Here it comes.
Here it comes.
Mandatory classes. If we do this seriously, we're basically gonna have to tell people what they're playing, and whether or not they complain can't matter.
Within reason, you are still allowed to complain. But
Sure,
You can
but it's not gonna matter.
Yeah. So, what
I think
is
the
a
hard
good
part
way
is
of
figuring
find
out.
like what is how do we find the best comps?
So the only hard and fast rules for Uwu are that you have to have a melee and you have to have a caster. The other two DPS spots can flex.
One has to be ranged.
You do not have to have a ranged limit break. It is best
No,
to have.
it's not for the limit
well,
break. It's for a stat
yeah,
bonus.
right. Of course. I would recommend taking either 2 ranged or a caster that can move easily.
I don't want to like make you feel too bad about this placeholder, but Black Mage is like close to the bottom of the DPS list.
I
That's
will
fair.
say, when I cleared it, we had a black mage in our party. She did it, but her parse had the little asterisk next to it that was like, this probably isn't accurate because so few people have cleared this fight on black mage.
Don't say that because that's gonna make him want to do it.
I mean, that's the reason why I wanted to do Ukop
I mean-
on Black Mage.
He wants to do it because no one ever does it.
There are 59 parses with Black Mage.
Wow.
That's like 49 more than there was for Ukop.
Oh,
Hang
sorry,
on, we
that's
got a
over the.
dog
Hang on a second. Let me just see.
This way, there's a lot of downtime, and you don't have Umbral Soul or whatever it is to. You're gonna have to transpose a bunch.
It's a level 70 fight, right?
Yep.
So I'll say this. If I'm willing, and I am, to play a different class during this raid, then no one else gets to complain about what class they get stuck on for this.
I honestly, like, I think the hard part here is going to be a bit figuring out how to pick, because, like, if we just were to go off of, like, DPS ranking, like, percentiles, like, that's kind of hard to gauge. Like, for example, this whole tier, I was on average higher than Tam, but Tam has higher, like, highs than I do. Like, what's the criteria? Because I couldn't think of a good one.
There might not be a good one. There might just be whatever we got, and the least amount of people complain about it. I don't think there's a way to make everyone happy in this situation. If there is, maybe we'll find it along the way, but I'm not sure there is.
Okay, well, I want to state for the record that I had to limit break every fight.
we're already preemptively making cases for ourselves. Oh man, this is.
I guess I can also provide this information. Melee players have 2 jobs during the entire fight. That's it. Outside of like party-wide mechanics. Ranged do the most, followed by healers and then tanks. And then melee is at the bottom, just smacking the boss.
I was gonna say it sounds like a monk fight, but then you said there's all this downtime.
Well,
There's a lot of
Monk is
downtime.
actually one of the highest DPS.
I guess let's start with that. Can you show me what you're looking at so I can get an idea of what this actually looks like?
Well, this is not comps, but just individual rankings. But this is the, I guess, 2-week average of clears of Uwu. With
And I guess
standard
if we're...
comps.
Wow, Ninja's crushing it, huh? I wouldn't have
What?
expected that. The thing you just linked, am I reading this wrong?
No, you're not reading it wrong.
Ninja is great at 70, and it's great in Uwu because you have ranged ninjutsus.
And also, you know, if there's a lot of downtime, then you can basically trick attack every opener. And that helps the raid DPS.
I like how Dragoon is 5th, but the top is 2nd.
there's one like super crushing it dragoon out there. Like,
Same with samurai. But yeah, interesting. That is more different than I was expecting. Red mage is 4th.
Yeah, that is interesting, huh?
So should we bring like ninja, summoner, red mage, and dancer?
Or bard.
So this is all individual, right? We should probably be also looking at like the actual clear groups that have been doing it and what their actual
Right.
comps look like, right? Is there a way to see that easily?
Just
Yeah,
click on the
you-
person at the top and look at their clear.
or
Okay.
you can go to the list of all the raids and then you just look at all reports. This is looking at the statistics tab or rankings. So like this is the rankings.
Also, just throwing it out there, you don't want to take Dancer. Just gonna throw that out there. I reprogrammed it on Dancer. It was the worst ever. So
Apparently, it's 67% of the range DPS.
you have to delay a bunch of your steps, and it just feels bad.
But like machinist and bard are like way down there.
So if we're looking at the extremes, the very top group
Top-
is
Top is ninja, dragoon, summoner, dancer.
Huh.
But that's the top group. Remember, that's the crazy dragoon.
The worst player was a 91.
Who is the Dragoon? Just out of curiosity.
Relxa Yaya.
Oh.
So I'll draw your attention to the number 2 clear. Has a black mage in it.
What's the number 3 clear?
Same comp as the first clear.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, looking at some of these comps that do not bring 2 melee, there's the double caster comp with red mage summoner, but also ninja dancer.
I'm seeing ninja in basically all of them, right? Is that pretty agreed?
That's what it appears. Any of them 1 melee comps are ninja is the one. At least in the top parses.
I'm seeing a lot of dragoon too as I go down this list.
Well, I mean, if you're only looking at the top clears.
Sure.
Oh, here's one that is the 29th percentile was ninja black mage summoner machinist.
That's spicy.
We probably could have our pick among the upper half of the classes. And yeah, among range DPS, Dancer is still the highest, like in every way, so. Even if it is painful, compared to Machinist and Bard. Those two don't compete.
Yeah, I guess you have to weigh like the wonkiness of some of the timers for Dancer versus playing Bard and Machinist at level 70.
But like even the worst dancers, like bottom 25 percentile dancers, are like average bards.
Yeah, and part of that is also like the dancer will make the best DPS better.
And they're going to do more DPS because there's a lot of instances where there's more than one target.
Yeah,
So if
don't
you
dancers
dance,
last time I checked, dancer just like normal abilities
Yes.
do more damage than your AoE combos. Your AoE rotations. Or sorry, not your AoE on 2 targets is better than single target.
Yes.
Which is not true for most classes. Most classes need 3 targets or more, but not dancer.
So, I think we probably should just rule out the bottom 4. And go with some combination of Dancer, Dragoon, Red Mage, Summoner, Monk, Ninja.
I'm really interested. Do you figure that red mage is actually good in this fight, or people just bring it for prog reses and stuff, and then they get the clear from it?
I totally believe it could be good. Because one thing about Red Mage is Red Mage was like a complete class at level 60. They had like all their skills almost.
Well, also, didn't we have like one time where we subbed in a caster and it was a red mage and a savage and they absolutely killed it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
red mage is fine for DPS at 70. Like, in fact, the only difference between 70 and 80 is actually just Scorch. Literally just Scorch.
That's kind of what I thought.
Well, the timing of embolden shifts, but I think red mage is probably better than black mage.
I am certain that red mage is like if you had to choose between the two, red mage is way better.
I agree with both of you, despite my
Wow.
biases.
But you still felt that glove slap across your cheek.
No, not necessarily. I need to be willing to give up stuff too. I'm going to commit to not bringing black mage to this fight in any capacity.
Right, because this is the spirit of what we're talking about, which is
Yes.
we need to take the thing that gives us the most advantage towards clearing the fight.
Okay.
Obviously,
First-
battle versus is nice too for prog, right?
Yeah, I'll take it. I think the most important question we have to ask is there an important difference between going 1 melee comp or 2 melee comp?
That'd be
the
an
top,
Ollie question.
yeah, right. Because like that, they're the top two, surprisingly.
I would say the answer is probably no.
I don't
Like,
think so. I'm looking back at our parses, and I think most of our clears we did 1 melee, but we swapped it around. People went on different classes, so
I gotta say, I'm seeing a lot of dancer in these top clears.
yeah,
it may have just
Surprisingly.
been my bad experience on dancer. So like,
it feels bad,
it feels
but
very
it's
bad.
not numerically bad.
No.
How do we feel
Well-
about ninja dancer summoner red mage?
Sounds like legit.
Initial one I proposed to.
Sounds like Kanata and Ollie or whoever is healing should never have to res.
Yay! Perfect.
All right, so now the other elephant, like who is playing which class?
We haven't decided how we're going to determine who should be playing what class. So,
Let me think here.
like,
Is
we're
there a
gonna
way
go-
for us to vote anonymously for who should play what class based on merit, and then tally those up so that no one feels personally attacked?
You could just do like an anonymous Google form, I guess.
All right, Ollie, I trust you to make that anonymous Google form.
Okay, give me like 3 minutes.
You will get to know who voted what, but
Not if you turn on anonymous.
yeah, by default it's anonymous.
Just don't be logged into your Google account, I guess.
No.
No,
It still keeps it
still-
anonymous.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
It's
last night's Lanta didn't know which one we were picking. And we're like,
I can't rule out that there is a way to do it where it's just fundamentally not anonymous. There's probably a way to do it, but it was easier to just add a question.
So we're doing dancer, ninja, red mage, summoner.
I mean, I guess we can.
it might actually be
It
might actually be easier to like figure out who we think should tank first.
Yeah, because I was like, I could list everybody, but I'm pretty sure Kanata and I are healing. So
Well, I mean, we can do that the same way, right? If you just put all of the roles or all of the classes into that sheet, and everyone just puts who they think should go where, and then we look at it what looks at the end.
Do we really want to specify people by individual classes or by roles?
I guess we can do it by roles, but the DPS we already kind of have classed out, right? So
what I could
Well-
do is I can put a short answer box in there. Just everybody use like full first names. Like if you're putting my name, put Oleander. That way it'll group it together. So I'm going to have the 4 DPS classes, and then have who should main tank, who should off tank, who should healer 1B, who should healer 2B. But I think we know the answer. But who knows?
psych, placeholder gets to play Astro.
I'll see you guys in the expansion.
It doesn't have benediction.
I was no one was more disappointed in that class than me because I've always wanted to be a time mage, like, and it was not a time mage. I even got the hat. You'll recall, you guys helped me get the hat, and it was not a time mage.
Yeah, I was disappointed when Astro came out because then I'm like, oh shit, they're never doing Time Mage.
Yup.
They're never.
Now
There's
they
like
could, I
literally.
guess.
So actually, I heard this from like one of those questions from like one of the live letters a million years ago. But someone asked if they were going to do Time Mage, and Yoshi P basically said it's basically impossible for us to balance haste. Like, we're just never going to do it because the comps that have haste and the comps that don't have haste will just never be able to match up.
Yet they had arrow
They
working.
had arrow, yeah.
And
And
yet
I'm
they
sure-
had arrow, and then
I'm
they
sure
took it
in
out.
Eureka and stuff, there's things that function.
Oh
that way.
sure, yeah. Eureka is based around the assumption that we're not going to we don't care about balance in Eureka.
Oh, the answer to it is to balance it to have multiple ways to cap out haste, rather than just have one job doing it. But they don't have the job variety or the desire to change up the jobs to do it.
Okay, let's see if this works, because my university email might lock people out. Anyway, it should work. But
Didn't I play monk at some point, or was that just like before we FF left?
No, you.
I remember you
played
monking.
monk at some
You were
point
monking when I first joined you
in
guys.
Alex.
In Coil. I think you were a black at the
Can
time.
only be viewed by users in this owner's organization.
I'm working on it.
Ooh, I have this report abuse button.
I was gonna say that.
Oh, here we go.
Abuse, I'm being oppressed.
Alt-right, catastrophe, Halicarnassus. And
I
then
loved
for
that
Xteth,
fight.
I have White Mage Parses.
Somebody try it now.
Nope.
You
God,
need
I
help.
hate this.
This is not using your or do you
Never
have
mind.
a Gmail?
Try it now. Oh, now try it. I forgot to click save.
Okay, there we go.
Just like, yeah.
Yay!
Just waiting on 2 people. So I can just read it off. Placeholder is on Red Mage. Carrot's on Summoner. Salenta is on Ninja. Midori is on Dancer. Tam is main tanking. Tylete is off tanking. I'm regen healing. And Kanata is shield healing.
Now would be the time to air grievances that will be listened to, but that's the general consensus. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I mean, it won't change anything, so
Is anybody especially unhappy with their roles that they've been assigned?
Then I guess we'll move forward. Can you post that in Discord so
Yep.
we don't have to remember it? Gonna give people time to get those classes ready to go, obviously. So,
Have you decided? Sorry, is there a major difference in like we were only looking at the DPS numbers? Was there any major difference in the like tank, either utility necessary for like I'm just gonna look at some of these comps to see what tanks people bring. And I looked at the healers also. There's a pretty good mix of Scholar, Astro, White Mage, and White Mage Scholar in even the top clears. So it seems like
It doesn't really matter. I've healed it on all three. I haven't cleared it on all three, but I've healed it on all three.
Astro is brought to a lot of the toppest parses, which is not surprising.
It's
But there
very
are
comfy at 70.
But so is Scholar, because you don't lose anything.
Yeah, no.
well,
if
I mean
you
that's
go,
what I was saying. Like top parse has a Scholar, third parse has a Scholar, fourth parse has a Scholar. It's not like bringing a Scholar is gonna nerf you.
No, if you go Scholar, I will probably go Astrologian unless one of the tanks is going to play Dark Knight.
And it looks like
I
the
will
tanks
have to bring White Mage.
There's also a pretty good like there's a lot of Gunbreakers. Like Gunbreaker at 70 is actually really high DPS because once again, you don't lose anything. Like they have pretty much their full kit at 70.
They don't have the. Oh, they don't have Bloodfest. Gross. But okay. No Bloodfest in the weak blasting zone, but I think that's all they lose.
Looks like a pretty big negative for Dark Knight. But everything else is pretty okay. Except
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a
complaints.
decent number of warriors. It looks like warrior Gunbreaker is a pretty common comp.
That's what we ran, and it was pretty nice because you get a lot of party mitigation.
That's a lot
Yeah.
of Gunbreakers.
Yeah.
Because you still have Heart of Light and stuff. So, Tam, Tylete, do you have preferences on Gunbreaker versus Warrior?
Or Paladin. Paladin's equal to Warrior, isn't it? Or is it?
I'm not seeing as many Paladin parses on here, just in general.
Because of the cooldown on Hollowed Ground.
Yeah, if something that you can bolt, like if you can bulleye twice in the fight, but you cannot Hallowed Ground twice in the fight, that's actually a very meaningful difference.
I mean, I'm more comfortable with Warrior, obviously, but
I'm seeing a lot of warriors in the top parses.
I think if we were just like picking what is the optimal comp, it would be Gunbreaker Warrior. I think we would definitely avoid Dark Knight though.
Which is funny because it's in the top parse, right? But we got
Yeah, it's like the only one. It's like,
yeah.
like let me just style on y'all.
Dark Knight and Dragoon. Oof.
No, I agree. I'm seeing a lot of Gunbreaker Warrior builds.
Because I think that'll make like Gunbreaker brings the cooldowns that Warrior doesn't bring, and vice versa, right? Warrior brings the like Shake It Off shields and the super low cooldown on Home Gang. Gunbreaker brings Heart of Light and a thing that resembles Hallowed Ground, but is for some reason 1 minute shorter.
Oh my god, Dark loses like a whole bunch.
Yeah, because when they rebalance Dark, they're like, we're going to make all of these skills that make your class playable level 72, 76, etc.
They lose all their
Rude.
AoE. And Edge of Shadow, which is pretty big.
Yeah, your single target, like, DPS skills.
You have the shitty version.
Oh, you get the shitty version. Okay, well that's something, I guess. But
Yeah.
Ninja, huh? I don't know how to play Ninja. I guess you have to figure out how to play Ninja. That's like as far away from classes.
I
that
voted for
play.
you to play Red Mage, just so you know. I remembered. That's my break of anonymity, but I remember you playing Red Mage at the beginning of Stormblood, and it's pretty good. I don't remember you flipping yourself off the edge of anything, but maybe you did.
Oh.
Oh.
I remember what's his face doing it. Whoever our Red Mage ended up being, I forget
Oh yeah.
what his
Oh.
name was.
Oh, I definitely did.
Oh.
That's when I first realized when you get put on the platform, you're not targetable for like 6 seconds. So I just sit there with Swiftcast going, I can't cast anything. I'm gonna sit here.
All right. Well, obviously we agreed that Thursday would be the day we're adding, but people are gonna need time to get ready and stuff, so I doubt we're doing this tomorrow.
Yeah, and in particular, did the two tanks decide who's playing Warrior and who's playing Gunbreaker? Because might need time to level gear that up, whatever, to 70.
Charlie, do you have anything now level up to 70?
Warrior and Paladin and Dark Knight.
Charlie's Gunbreaker is 60.
Because I have everything.
But once again, I think part of this is supposed to be, who's playing to the optimal comp. So, like, I would definitely be willing to help power level people if we think that it would be better the other way. But if you're willing to go on Gunbreaker, Tam, and Tylee goes on Warrior, then we just have to worry about gear.
I haven't run that dungeon in a while.
It's not also implausible for them to switch. Like, that's also not crazy. Is it?
Yeah, we can start that way, right? And then whenever Tyleek gets his Gunbreaker to 70, he can swap.
If he wants to. I don't like. That's for them to decide, as far as I'm concerned.
And it's only 10 levels, right? So
Yeah, it's like
well, it's not like it's at level 1. He's got to get it to 70.
yeah, it's like a week or two.
I mean, I prefer Warrior. If you want to play Warrior, we can like have a battle or something. I don't know.
Trial by combat.
Well, were there any other things that we would need to hash out on this? Like, when are we starting?
I would like to know that.
Presumably, we should be able to get started next week, right?
Go in on Tuesday.
So, if we are doing Thursdays, I will not be able to make it on time, ever.
By how much?
Probably by half an hour.
So 9:45 is what you're thinking?
At the earliest. Because I would be getting out of work at 9 o'clock. I have about half an hour drive home, and then I still need to clean up.
Fair. I mean, non-zero amount of time is still, particularly now when we are not doing Savage. I guess this can be the bonus question for right now, which is, if we do one more clear of 12, that will be our 10th clear. Are people fine with taking a pause, and like maybe we can do 12S re-clears whenever we don't have everyone, like if someone's out for a week?
Sure, especially once they unlock it. Just
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
or is it
so
unlocked? Is it unlocked then?
It's not unlocked yet. I'm
Jeez.
on Tuesdays. I look for parties that are just like skip to 12, and then I join those, and that's how I'm getting us to 12.
So we don't have to actually decide this, but I imagine our first session is going to be sit down, watch the video together, discuss the first like 2 minutes of the fight, and then work that out.
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
Oleander said something about having to gear the tanks specific ways. I don't know if how much is that.
So,
That's going to be a problem.
I just did a deep dive into the balance. So, at least one of the tank sets calls for a relic weapon for Biss. Take that as you will. I would recommend
Man.
everybody to go to the balance, to the specific page for the class you are playing, and see if there is any information about Uwu or Uwu Biss.
Well, at very least, I know that Tam has his relic weapon, and I know that there does not exist a relic weapon for Gunbreaker.
Ah.
At level 70?
Are you talking? So on the dancer page, it actually just says the current relic weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 535 current relic weapon is the best in slot.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's like I said, for some classes, it leans more towards like whatever the current best in slot is because you're not really losing that much. But for other classes, it's going to be like tanks. You might need some lower eye level gear.
Man, I really wish the balance would go back to their old icon, because I can never find it in my Discord list.
But it's
It's
so
great.
happy. It's so cute. Looks like my puppy drew it.
Like your puppy. If your puppy could draw that, wow, get on some talk shows.
Alright, well, it's getting late. Do we have anything else we need to discuss? Did
Oh.
we hit all the bullet points?
Oh, never mind. I already asked the thing.
I
Yeah.
guess my question was, do we want to sit down, even if we're still gearing the tanks, we can sit down and like watch a clear video or a guide video and talk through it.
If people are free tomorrow, I know this is like last minute. If people are free tomorrow, then that's what we could spend tomorrow doing. Is like one person basically watching the video on stream, and then like we're watching their stream, and like they pause and we talk through things as it's going on, and that person is Oli,
Hooray!
because
No.
you're the only one that has any sort of
Free tomorrow.
context for this.
Yeah, I'm free tomorrow. Like I said, I can't really talk to tank mechanics, but I can talk to everybody else. So
I don't think we would need more than 2 hours because I think the clear video, like the full guide video, is not that long. So it's not like it would be a whole raid night.
if you have any experience doing Garuda, Ifrit, or Titan on content, that helps a bunch.
We should all have that experience, right? Everyone in here.
Well, I mean, we just had Titan Unreal.
I did not have any experience going into it, so a lot of the mechanics I just had no idea what they were.
Oh man, Garuda. And you have the Wicked Wheel.
Oh.
You have Chirata and Sparna.
Chimichanga. No,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chimichanga and Splenda.
Plumes.
Oh yeah, the Spiny Plume and the sleep and like don't kill the plume, and then
Yeah.
like people
Big
getting
mechanic,
wind
yeah.
dots.
Oh,
Garuda was an annoying fight, but I don't think it was as hard as Titan, which was just like people die, and then you wipe because you can never rest them.
Garuda. So the Garuda phase is a heal check, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Then Ifrit is like kind of a tank, and a DPS can you control yourself check. And then Titan is can you do a lot of mechanics at the same time in an increasingly small area where red mages can't even backflip and they don't have their other skill, so they just sit
Oh,
on it
no.
for
You
the
just-
whole phase.
You just lose 100 potency like every 60 seconds.
I mean, back in the day, the Titan was the DPS check, Ifrit was the healer check, and Garuda was the tank check because of Wicked Wheel. Like
Because
that's how everybody
and
described
pulling
it.
them apart.
And all the
yeah.
movement. Yeah, there was a lot of control of the bosses you had to do that one.
That was the first time when I was playing as a tank that I was like, oh god, I don't actually know what I'm doing.
Like facing of bosses mattered.
Oh
Like, because you didn't want to slipstream people. I learned a lot of things tanking in Garuda.
Well, that would be helpful if you were tanking.
No,
But-
no. I learned a lot about tanking in Final Fantasy. Like, the lessons learned apply to a lot of fights. Like positioning and facing and getting snap aggro. Getting snap aggro in 2.0 was garbage.
Every one of us is better than the best of us was then.
Like, you had to use the second hit of your 3-hit combo because
How long was too slow?
yeah, like Riot Blade, not Riot Blade. Was it Riot Blade? I think it was still Riot Blade then. Like our skills aren't even the same. Like, no, it wasn't Riot Blade, it was the other one. It was like no, Fast Blade's the first hit. The second hit, which does not exist anymore, was the one that had no delay between when you hit the button and when the damage went out. But Rage of Halone, which also doesn't exist now, was too slow because it had this really long animation. And it didn't apply the aggro until the animation finished. And this was like when you're doing Phoenix and you need to pick up those Benus literally within a half a second, just couldn't use Halone. And Fastblade didn't have an aggro modifier on it. So that wouldn't work. Anyway, that stuff's not super important now.
Is there anybody that can't make it tomorrow night?
Starting at-
I might not be here tomorrow night, depending on how I feel.
That's
Okay.
valid.
And you don't have to play. So if you're just feeling like you want to just like curl up and watch a video, then that's also fine. But
It'll be a half-remembered fever dream.
if you've got a headache and feeling sickish, then please, by all means, rest.
By all means, enjoy the spectacle.
Yeah,
Alright,
so we'll start an hour after or the 7 p.m/10 p.m. If that sound fine.
It'll be shorter.
Yeah, because we don't need to do a full 3 hours. All right. Does anyone want to do leveling right now tonight?
I'll do a bunch of
No.
that stuff tomorrow. I gotta head to bed.
Yeah.
Why not?
Good night.
I have to upload videos and stuff. I will see you guys later.
All right. Thank you all.
See y'all tomorrow.
See ya. Anyone else for leveling?
Just invite Salanta. Don't even ask.
Okay.
Going on Gunbreaker, then I will go on Summoner. Oh wait, no, Summoner's gonna be awful. It's fine. It's fine. I'll go on Summoner anyway. I don't remember how bad Summoner is at different levels. You don't get Phoenix, but
Depends on how far down we go. Since we're a full party, it's at least going to be 50 to 60. I'm gonna guess. Wait. Did you click the button, Kanata?
Sounds like a no.
Limited leveling
Limited
roulette.
Leveling roulette.
Checked.
It is now checked. Okay, but yeah, it'll be like 55 plus?
It will be between 52 and 60. Well, 52 and 59.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess.
small.
The vault. Or whatever. Nope. It's some all.
Oh, I don't get Try Disaster.
Oh. I don't know, what's that on?
That's okay. There's too much sects and violence in this game.
Oh, I have what do I have?
You should have the bubble.
I do not have the bubble.
Well, I thought that was 52.
That is 58.
Rip.
What do I have? I have nothing.
You have. What do you have? Essential Dignity. Sinistry. Draw.
Gravity.
Yes, you do have gravity. You have gravity at 45 now.
Oh.
Like, it was the last of the healers to get the AoE at below level 50, but they finally changed it.
Oh. Still a bee alive.
Oh, this 1.5 second GCD feels so weird.
So you have like infinite time to do cards between casts.
No, don't we just like ignore the hornets?
Yeah.
Yes, you just ignore the bees.
Why are you like this? I don't want it. There aren't many times when I would rather have no skill than to have a skill. But god, I hate outbursts so much.
Blizzard 2 will go all the way back.
Blizzard 2 is stronger. Or was it 50 initially?
I think it was 50 without the talent.
I mean, it's 15 and it goes up to 200, right?
Well, if you're a black ninja, it goes to 100. But like if you were cross-classing it, it was only 50, but it didn't get lower with the number of targets. So there was a theoretical number of targets where Blizzard 2 was better DPS than like most DPS spells. I think that target number was like 8.
I don't think it had to be that high back then. Maybe 6 targets.
Well, as opposed to like other AoE skills that had reduced potency.
And do you mean ranged DPS? Or do you mean casters and ranged?
No, what are you talking about? What's your context?
Cards.
Okay, so it will say on the card, but you have to look at the actual description of it.
Yeah,
I think it's
healer and ranged DPS. Melee DPS is tank.
yeah. I think
Healer, bow,
Didn't-
spire, spear, arrow, balance. The first 3 are your range, the last 3 are your melee.
the question is whether it applies to dancer or not.
The answer is a range.
Arma the Destroyer, I think, is the skill that required like 8 targets. Because that skill was fucking terrible.
Okay, that's definitely the split. Stack for fire. Oh, just 2 people's fine. And then spread for
protect
ice.
you.
Just go boss. There you go. Has some clear prisms.
Just what I always wanted. More shit to throw on the ground. Not that I would throw anything you gave me on the ground.
No, you'd save it for posterity. And breathe in the fumes every night before you go to sleep.
A Gaelic kid.
Already have that. Oh no, I have a weatherproof Gala kitten, not a normal Gala kitten. My bad. I was so eager to get out of there, so I didn't have shit dropping in my inventory. I didn't even look. Well, I bought one with Gil. Now I have a Gala kitten.
Oh, are they cheap?
They're under 50k. Any minion under 50k I think is cheap. There's also Gala Catnip, and Huggable Gala Cat, and a Weatherproof Gala Cat. Only one of those is a minion.